Hola, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Edna. I am so glad you guys tuned in to my channel, and this video. If you guys are on here, I'm assuming you guys are entrepreneurs, salespeople, or looking at starting a business. And so I am excited to meet you guys, and I hope to get to know you guys here on social media. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today is about branding. And, branding is such a huge thing. There's multiple facets to it. And there's so many teachings out there about branding. I'm not talking about branding as in a logo or a motto. Okay, I'm talking about branding, which is your identity. And I am talking about two sides of branding, your business branding and your personal branding. And the reason why that is important is because if the identity of the individual isn't defined, it doesn't matter what the identity of the business is, because people buy from people, not the business brand. And especially when you first start out. Now, of course, there are some brands that have been there forever and ever and ever, like Nike and Apple and Sheraton and Hilton and Coca-Cola. So I'm not talking about those brands, but a lot of times what you find is most of those big brands started out exactly what I'm talking about, was they believed in the people behind the brand. So it still confirms what I'm telling you now. Now, before I go into the branding aspect, I kind of want to go a little back and tell a little bit why I'm going into this, because I remember throughout my career, I worked across various positions, across various industries, from engineering to restaurant business to IT solutions to supply chain, logistics, right? Financial, nonprofits. What else? They said logistics already. Yeah, logistics, tourism. What else? Education, financial services, so forth. And that's just my career. And then, of course, I worked with all types of clients. But I remember throughout my career when I first started in sales, the biggest thing that a lot of my employers or my mentors and my bosses taught me was, you're pretty, you'll get indoors. You're pretty, you'll be fine. Just charm your way through. Just flirt a little bit. Just bribe them a little bit. And there, if you'll find there's a lot of entertainment when it comes to sales. I remember I had access to suites, tickets to football, basketball, baseball, pretty much all the sports. We took him hunting, we took him golfing, we took him to fancy restaurants. And the problem with that is there's only so much entertainment you could do, because there's always going to be other companies that's going to provide better entertainment, bigger gifts, and so forth. And even though now there's a lot of companies that have rules and regulations against that, it still happens. And that's just one aspect. And then I have other companies, and I'm not going to mention the names, that said, have sex with them. That's a common thing, females, especially they're young, they want the business, they'll have sex with them. And I can tell you how many stories I've heard about certain industries, and it's real life, and I'm not making this up. And those of you guys who are have been in sales and have seen the ugly side, you see it all. And so one of the things that I did was the opposite of what everybody told me. And I didn't just use my beauty. I understood the customer's agenda, meaning I knew what their goals were, I knew their customers, and I knew the industry. I brought value to them. But also, I wanted to say that throughout my career, even though I was making really good money and I was doing very well, there were a few times where I had left the company because who I am didn't mesh well with the way they were doing business for many reasons, whether it's unethical or the way they treat people and, you know, whatever, so forth. Now, I say this because a lot of times people always look at the bottom line. But here's the issue. What I don't understand is the bottom line is dependent on people. And so if you don't have the right people working for you, if you're not working with the right customers, you're affecting the bottom line. And it's funny to me that they'll focus on marketing, like external things, like, for example, marketing, you know, having the fancy flyers and having the fancy buildings and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and taking them to, you know, entertaining them. But they're not willing to invest in their people. They're not willing to invest in the personal growth of their team. They're not willing to invest in themselves. And not knowing that your personal growth and your personal developments affects your financial development of your company. And so today I want to talk about how important that is, that each person that's representing you should align with the vision and mission, not only of your business, but also of yourself, which is why it's so important that you know yourself and you know your identity, because, and that's how the vision and mission statement comes in. So vision and mission statement is used so loosely. You know, just for those of you guys who aren't entrepreneurs, typically what happens is when you're creating a business plan, you need a vision and mission statement for your company. So the vision statement is usually the big picture. What's the overall goal? What's your vision of where your company is going to go and what it's going to do? And the mission statements are how you're going to get there. So just like, for example, if you're going to Florida from Texas, you could make your vision from Texas to Florida, but your mission would be going to Louisiana, then going to, I don't know what's the next states after that, whatever states it's after. Oh my gosh, I went blank. But that's what vision mission statement is. So here's what happens. A lot of times people don't have a clear vision and mission for their personal life. And that is what I do with my clients, is I actually help them develop what is their overall goal, what is the vision that God has given them that they know God wants them to accomplish in their lifetime. And when you have that clarity, and usually it's 1 or 2 sentences, and I go on this huge exercise with them, dealing with them one by one, and then you identify your mission, and we identify how they're going to reach that big goal. And so now when they're presented with opportunities, when they're presented with new connections, when they're presented with anything that requires time out of them, money out of them, they now look at their vision and mission statement and see if whatever that person is offering, whatever that thing is offering, aligns with the vision and mission of their life. Then they can make wise decisions and not waste any time, not waste any money, but also earn more money, because they know that what that project is, or what that person, who that person is, or whatever that relationship is going to help them get to their vision statement sooner. And so it's important that you have clarity on what your vision and mission is as an entrepreneur is, because then you could determine your vision and mission statement for your business that aligns with who you are. Because a lot of times, what you'll find is the reason why a lot of employees leave and a lot of customers leave are related to people. Someone pissed them off, someone doesn't have integrity. I mean, mind you, I made a lot of money, and I was willing to leave 6 figures all the time because I didn't want to deal with this person who was very unethical and who treated me like crap. I didn't want to deal with that because I knew myself, and I would rather, make less money and work with someone, or even be with someone in a relationship who treats me well and treats me the way I'm supposed to be treated, which is God's daughter, right? I am royalty. And when you know your worth and you know your identity in Christ, you don't put up with anything mediocre. You don't put up with anything that's not God's best. But in order for you to do that, you need to have that clarity on what your vision and mission is for your life, right? And then once you identify the vision and mission for yourself, the vision and mission for your business, then you could identify the right people for your vision and mission for your business. Because a lot of times is you'll find that you have maybe the right skill set, but they have the wrong character. So if your vision and mission is about integrity and you have someone here that cheats, steals, and lies, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot, because you have somebody out there representing you that is completely the opposite of what your company is trying to represent. So it's important that you educate your business, your managers, educate your leaders, and educate yourself on how to dig a little bit deeper. Don't just look at experience, look at their character. Do your reference checks, not just professional reference, but personal reference. And sometimes it might not happen overnight, but it takes a lot of money and a lot of time to hire and train someone. So if you're going to hire someone for your company, make sure that you find someone that's in line with where God is telling you to go, right? And then I just wanted to end with that. That was a little tip I had about branding, and how important it is that you don't just consider your business brand, but also consider your personal brand. And I'm not just talking about your personal brand, but even your employees' personal brand, because people buy from people, right? People buy from people. And if your people are out there misrepresenting you and misrepresenting your name, it takes longer to get a new customer than keep your existing customer, right? So you don't want bad press out there. You don't want people representing you wrong. And you could train people, but some things, some people are just rude. Some people just don't have any people skills. Some people, unfortunately, just look at it this way. If you see red flags, see the red flags. It's funny because a lot of times I like to give a lot of people chances, but once you see something, not like when it comes to integrity, I'm really big on that, because I've dealt with people all my life who didn't have integrity. And for me, when I'm hiring people, when I'm working with people, and yes, even choose your own customers, I'm very picky. My whole motto is I help the good guys win in business and in life. I put the good guys in there because I only work with good guys, because who I work with also represents me. So if I meet someone who's being a jerk or being disrespectful or being racist or just whatever, right, or who's stealing from their customers, I'm not going to work with them. Because whoever I'm tied to affects me and my business as well. So take that into consideration also. Be picky about your customers. It's okay to fire customers. I've done that before, and it's okay. Like, I know you're like, oh my gosh, that's my biggest customer. I can't believe it, guys. God's going to give you another customer. And you just have to trust the process. And, you do this, you're going to help grow your business the right way. I hope my Battle to Booming tip helped you today. And I look forward to sharing more with you guys in the future. God bless you guys. Talk to y'all later. Bye.